Sound good.
So this isn't our first rodeo. We've already done this 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
so we know each other pretty well.
I would say so.
Well, not as well as um, I want to get to know you. In other words, that's why we're here.
Okay, let's do it.
Because I want the world to know Johanna, not Johanna, Johanna.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How many times do people fuck that shit up?
Oh my God, daily, and have to correct them.
Do people that you kind of grew like? Do people that you've known for years fuck it up ever?
No.
Because I saw you correct E like twice.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't see him like on a regular day basis. So, we go years without actually seeing each other sometimes. So I can understand it. But my regular people, no. They know how much I love my age. I feel very proud for it. Thank you.
Do you have a short fuse when it comes to stuff like that? Like,
I wouldn't say short, but I'm very assertive. So some people take it like, they might think I'm coming off a little too harsh. But it's just like, would you like me calling you something you don't like to be called?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Have you always been assertive? And are you assertive with everything? Or
For the most part, some things like I just feel now that I'm getting older, it's like some things are not worth my energy in it. So I might say something once. If not, if you don't get it, I'm gonna keep it moving. You're gonna be talking to yourself.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Has that ever backfired on you? Like, has that ever cost you, let's say, either in relationships, friendships?
No, not really, because I
Business?
learned my audience. So I know maybe certain things you may not mean a certain way, or although it may come out like that. I learn their behavior, so I'll know if it's being disrespectful or you just really don't mean it, or you may not know. So I have to educate you.
Okay.
Once I educate you, if you fuck up from there, then
Now, being a owner of a business,
Yes.
do you have to tune that down a little bit? Do you have to
Yeah.
be more patient?
Absolutely. That's why I'm like a typical woman. I have wear many different hats, so I'll know which one to put. Like certain things, especially if I'm have my professionalism hat on, there's a lot of things I won't be ill about, or have those little tendencies. I just go into the role that I'm supposed to be. How I want to be perceived, that's what I like to act in. So I jump into those shoes. I'm a different person as Johanna the boss woman and Johanna the just chill vibe, like just hanging out. So
Has it changed the person that you are as Johanna the Chill hanging out since you started your business?
yes, I think it made me stronger. It made me wiser. It made me also more sensitive to society, to people, since we have so many different things going on in the world, like pronouns and things like that. Like back in the day, I might have thought of it a different way, but now I'm educated. So, and I have to be sensitive because I never know who comes, which walk of life they're coming through. They might end up being like somebody I really love, and I gotta, or somebody in my family might come out of a certain community, and I still want them to feel love. Like there's so much hate in the world. When you in my home, you're around my presence, I want you to feel like a sense of calmness, because I'm going to give it to you real, but I just know how to deliver my message now. When I was younger, I didn't understand that.
How quickly do you feel like things changed as far as this whole pronoun and being more accepting? Because I feel like it just kind of came out of nowhere.
It did.
It's like
and it blew up.
It's like it was kind of like, not to call it a pandemic, but it was kind of like the pandemic before the pandemic, because it's like I feel like it started around the same time. Maybe it's because more people had to start socializing through social media, so more people were spending time on those avenues, and they started voicing their opinions, because I feel like everybody's opinionated now. That's why there's 10,000 podcasts, because everybody has an opinion, right?
But I also think that like social media, or excuse me, media, as far as like movies and TV shows, opened up the doors to make other people feel comfortable enough to tell their truth. You know what I mean? So, and then us being locked up for 2 years in COVID, it's like a lot of people discovered themselves. They started podcasts, they looking at things, and they just feel like they're accepted to express. People are still like scared to do so, but nowadays it's like nothing. It's like the new thing.
Have you ran into a circumstance that caught you by surprise? Like, let's say, everybody says, "Hey, you guys," right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever ran into a certain, like, a situation where they're like, "Yo, I don't use those pronouns," or
Not to me per se, but I am around like the therapy psychiatric world, because my cousin, which is like my soul sister, she's been in that field for like over a decade. So I hear stories that, yeah, like certain patients want to be called they, and sometimes it takes people off, like, because they're not used to it still. It was not when we were growing up, it was either gay, bisexual, transgender, or heterosexual.
yeah.
Now it's like, but everything was still he or she. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's they, them. You get a little confused, but you just got to keep your mind open, and you just got to understand that everybody comes from different walks of life. So you just got to respect.
Yeah, the being open minded.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the people that are being heavily closed minded, um, like they have some type of they have some type of vendetta against everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like they probably were against gay people
Oh,
this
yeah.
whole time, right? Because whatever somebody wants to be called, it's like, all right, like cool, like I'll call you that. I've become more aware. You kind of see it. Like, for example, if I'm going into a room full of like full of like dudes that are obviously like, if I'm going to a bar, right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bunch of guys that are watching sports, like I could almost 100% assume like I'm going in there and I'm like, yo, what's up, guys, and I'm not gonna offend anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I do certain jobs, um, uh, as an exterminator. I go into certain places, and you could see, like, like, let's say it's a full lesbian staff, like, and they have a certain aesthetic, right? Like, let's say the colorful hair or the shaved hair, or just the fact that it's a fully like female lesbian or whatever sexuality they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like for me to go in there knowing what the time is and being like, yo, what's up, guys, yo, what's up, guys, yo, what's
That's
up, guys,
insensitive. Yeah.
it's kind of like asking for that. So now I'm kind of getting into like
Mm-hmm.
the hey y'all and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I
When
feel
you
like,
know better, you do better.
yeah, it's an easy switch. People are making it to be way more than it really has to
Mm-hmm.
be. But at the same time, it's because certain people are like stuck in their community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're stuck in their old ways, especially if you're a certain age group. You didn't grow up hearing that. So it's like, oh, that shit is bullshit. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
you are your way and they are their way. So you just
yeah,
have to respect. And if you don't know how to respect it, you don't want to learn and be open minded, then keep it moving.
yeah,
Simple.
yeah. I feel like if you live in New York City specifically, um, it's very easy to just be in your own world.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to be accepting of the fact that this is a very diverse place.
Mm-hmm.
So being
I feel
stuck,
like New York is like a melting pot. So if you know this is what the world is accepting, is being advertised, whatever, and you can't understand it, accept it, or want to understand, then just stay home. Keep
yeah.
your ass in the house. Simple.
Speaking of staying home, are you introverted, extroverted? What do you like?
I'm in the middle.
In the middle?
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people meet me with my big personality and they're like, oh, I can't believe you shy. I can't believe you can be quiet. But I'm very much shy. As,
You're very good
larger
at
than
playing
life.
it off.
I have a good poker face. I had to learn it though.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I try not to wear my emotions on my face, which is very hard. But I've been learning with my career now. And my business is also teaching me how to not show facial expressions, because what my mouth don't say, my face do. But
yeah,
I'm working on it. So, but yeah, it could be challenging at times, but I still try to keep that in the back of my mind. So yeah, some people might think like, oh no, Joe, she's very like out there, and then some people be like, no, she very much loves her alone time. Like, I'm
yeah,
like depends on my day, I guess. Some days I'm more introvert, And it's like, it's not that something's wrong with me, but sometimes I just like silence. I just want to be my own thoughts or whatever. And then some days I just love company. Like I want to go out, I wanted to experience different things. So I'm like in the middle,
Yeah.
like 50-50, literally.
I get very introverted during the winter, and I spoke about how I get like a seasonal depression type of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how do
Okay.
you get during the winter? Or what's your favorite season in?
My favorite season is summer, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like there's just so much more to do and I don't have to wear like a big coat. Because, living here in New York, it gets cold.
It's terribly cold.
Yeah, and I'm like borderline anemic, so I get colder than the most, and I'm also small frame, so I guess that has to do with it as well. Everybody would say, "Oh, it's because you're skinny," and it's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just cold. But yeah, I'm a winter baby. I was born in the most coldest month of the year, which is February, so I hate it. I wish my mom waited a little bit longer so I could have been baked and delivered in the summer.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more to do. But the wintertime, I do like being home more. But I like to, when I'm home, don't mean just me. I like to do like indoor stuff. Like me more now that I'm older, I like doing home stuff. I like
Mm-hmm.
going to the girls' house or we'll all drink there or like anywhere with four walls. Like I don't mind going out once in a while, but I do like being indoors. I don't know if COVID did that to me, but
Do you find yourself wanting to be with somebody?
in what sense? Like a partner or just people's
I got
energy?
they call like winter like cuffing season.
Oh, the cuffing
Do
season.
you feel like that's
Yeah.
a thing?
I mean, who don't like to be a little warm, right? A little cuddle
Yeah.
session or whatever. But in that apartment we chilled right now. We as cold as the polar bear.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, of course, everybody loves a little cuddling. I think it's very healthy too. I feel like people shouldn't rush into things, Don't just get with someone because of a season or you just broke up. I feel like people should work on themselves first and then worry about having company. But I don't feel like it's healthy to be alone your whole life. It's not
Yeah.
what we were put on this earth to do,
Yeah.
to come together. So at some point when you got yourself together and you feel like you mentally can handle things, then of course you need a partner,
Yeah.
whichever way that may be.
Yeah. It does feel great
Yeah,
to
and it's good for your mental. It really is,
yeah.
And sometimes you want to just vent to one person. So why not have a partner that is like your best friend, so to speak? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you could relieve all of the work stresses.
Mm-hmm.
What Shorty was doing to annoy you
What
at
tick
work
her
and stuff
off?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that communication. You need that human feeling. You know what I mean? That warmth.
I will
That
say like it's always great to come home to somebody,
absolutely.
but it's also great to come home to nobody.
Right. Not hear nobody bitching, not hearing no mess, not it's it I feel like it's a balance, you know what I mean? That's why it's
Yeah.
okay to be alone for a little bit, get yourself together, but then at some point try to find a partner because who wants to die alone?
Yeah.
I think people love to say that like, I don't need nobody, but
I want to say I'm probably one of the coldest people I know. Uh, but no, I don't want to die alone.
right.
I want a nice big family.
So you gotta warm up one
Yeah,
day.
I'm not gonna give a fuck about my great grandkids. I always say this.
Joelle.
They're not gonna give a fuck. They're not gonna
Of
give a
course
fuck
they gonna
about
give a
me.
fuck about you. When my great grandma passed away, it hurt me.
Well, your great grandma, you were like she was alive while you were alive.
Yes, she passed away when I was about 14. So
You see,
I
that's
was
not the case for most.
but yeah.
Most people, you ask them, yo, what's your great grandparents' name, and they're like, I don't know.
Damn, that's sad.
It happens a lot more than you think.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm like, yo, that's like a degree of separation where it's like, I care about you, but I don't care about you that much, bro.
Well, I'm hoping to leave a legacy where my great grandkids can
Oh yeah, of course. You want to do something
benefit
like
or something. Yeah, so you never gonna forget me. Johanna, my great grandmother Johanna did this, like, and this is why we here today. Like, my
Yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears went it. So I'm hoping to. If I have kids, I don't know. We'll see.
Do you want kids?
You know what? I'm up and down with it. Some days I'm like, I see people's kids, or I'll be around my nieces and nephews. And I'm like, I'm worn out. I can't do this every day.
Yeah.
This shit is tiring.
It's a different type of love though when it's
But
yours.
it is, yeah. I don't. I feel like if God wants me, well, I just say that because I believe in God. Everybody's different, but the higher power that I believe in, I feel like if He wants me to have it, or I'm just picked as that vessel, then it'll happen. But I'm also gonna be 34, so my time is ticking.
Yeah.
But if it happens, if not, hopefully me and my husband could travel the whole world, and
Yeah.
that would be our
Would
baby.
you ever adopt?
No.
That was was a strong no.
No offense. I really mean no offense because I commend anybody that can do that. I feel like you got the biggest heart. That's amazing. But my personal choice, I don't think so. But I don't spit in the air. If I get with a partner and he's like really into it and I just feel like it'll make our house better, then maybe I'll be open to it. But as of right now speaking,
You're
I
not
don't
trying to
I
be
don't see that.
Angelina Jolie and Brad
Right, I
Pitt.
don't see that. I
No.
wanna if I'm gonna raise a kid, I want it to be mine. Now, if I can't myself carry them for whatever reason, and I get a surrogate, it's still mine because my eggs are in her. She's just a vessel carrying it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm not closed on that, door. But adopting, it's a very, very slim chance that I would. But
One
you
step
never know.
before adopting, but not before kids, is marriage.
Hmm.
In my opinion, what are your views on marriage, and
I
how important
think
is it to you?
I feel like society has destroyed what marriage is, what it's supposed to be, what it stands for. But I come from a little bit of an older generation. I was raised by an older generation. So a lot of their morals and stuff is instilled in me. So I do believe in marriage. I really do. And I'm hoping to find a lifetime partner to do that with. You know what I mean? Because I know it's not easy. I'm around a whole bunch of marriages and parenting and all of that. So it takes a village to raise a kid, and it also takes like a lot of compromise, a lot of patience, a lot of mental stability to really carry on a marriage. Because a lot of people might get tired after a point. The first thing they want to do is bring that big Z word, divorce, divorce. No, every marriage is gonna hit a wall where you just like, I don't think I can't give no more. But if you believe in your marriage, you believe in your partner, what y'all have together, y'all unionship, I feel like you just gotta. Some people go to therapy.
Yeah.
I personally, when I was younger, I used to think that was the stupidest thing. My favorite line, which I'm sure everybody says, I'm not paying a stranger
Yeah.
to listen to my problems.
Hmm.
But as that's the most ignorant way of thinking about it. You know what I mean? Also, there is therapists that I'm around, so it opened up my mind, changed my perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, if that's something that can help, because you really believe in your marriage, I'm like, go for it. You know what I mean? Anything that can help, because sometimes you need external help, because the
Yeah.
internal house ain't working. But y'all love each other. Y'all know y'all can go further. Sometimes you just need a little tweak. You know what I mean? But I think marriage is the most beautiful thing on earth. I really do.
What without getting too deep into it, but what type of household did you grow up in? Were both parents at home?
See, that's why I'm so big on marriage. I hope to get married before I have a kid because I want my kid to walk down the aisle, whether it's the flower girl or the ring bearer.
Yeah.
So I came from a household that didn't have that. I was lucky and blessed enough to be raised by my father, which I consider my father. Of course, my biological one, he's not worthy enough to carry that word, so he's just the sperm bank. Yeah, he's just in another world. But the man that raised me was a Jamaican, well respected, very successful and smart man. He had two PhDs.
Beautiful.
Yes, he worked as the vice president of JP Morgan,
Wow.
not Chase.
Wow.
I always tell people there's a difference,
Yeah.
So he was very, very successful before his demise. But and he raised me and he gave me the best home. So I had a mother and father household, but I didn't have that marriage in there.
Okay.
Me growing up, I don't think, except for a cousin of mine, nobody's married with the one they had children with or married, period. I do have some aunts and stuff but they're not like my immediate family that I'm with all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wasn't really raised with that, but I knew it was very important. I was always taught that it's the
You
best
saw the
thing.
benefit. You saw the benefit of it.
Yep,
I'm
and
not a religious man, but I definitely see the benefit in marriage before having kids and having some sort of foundation. So I want to have, I definitely want to have a strong foundation, whether that be financially, all the way to kind of already being settled down. In other words, getting all of the travel, getting all of the fun out of my system, so that I could have some different type of fun with my family and get to re-experience these things as a family, and not feeling like I've given anything up for like to have this kid for like I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, they have kids mistakenly.
Mm-hmm.
In other words,
Unplanned. Right.
exactly unplanned, and there might be some sort of resentment there,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not the child's fault.
Even especially when they come a little earlier in life, like when you're like the 19s and the 20s, when
Yeah,
we're supposed to live our life at that time, so to speak, people tend to,
yeah, and our parents' generation, I feel like that was already something that was kind of ingrained in them
Mm-hmm.
because their parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, like they were popping babies out like when
Mm-hmm.
they were 15,
Right,
16
early. Mm-hmm.
naturally. But now with social media and what you know you can experience, um, having a kid by mistake, especially at a young age, it could throw a big wrench in your plans.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's easier to have some sort of resentment, to feel like, damn, I could have done so much more, but now I have to.
You know what it is? I feel like main ingredient, people don't take their time.
Yeah,
They don't learn the person, and then like when the baby comes and they don't go the way you want, they're like, oh, this is the worst person in the world. No, y'all both are at fault because y'all both made the decision without getting to know each other. You
yeah,
didn't go out there and travel. You didn't go through trials and tribulations. It's just y'all started having, sexual relations, and then boom, she's pregnant, and it's just
yeah,
like, oh, now I'm forced into this.
yeah.
Opposed if you took your time and
Hmm.
you really enjoyed each other's company, you knew if this happens, they're more likely to do this. You know what I mean? And know your partner. Then when the baby comes along, it's like, okay, even if it's right before marriage, it's like, you know what? This just seals the deal. Let's go ahead and get married because I can't see myself with nobody else. Like I've been through X amount of things with you and I know you're the one, like type of thing. So if people take their time and really just dissect that person, I think it will have better homes opposed to being broken homes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think it's very important for mother and father to be in the household with the child. Because even though they might be outside the home and both of them are, it's still that pull and tug. You got Christmas, you got this, you got income taxes. I don't like. It's just too much pulling on the
Hmm.
kid. You know what I mean? Then a person like me that it have my biological both parents in the household, there's still some stuff that I struggle with. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I feel like it's a higher percentage to raise a successful, well put together individual. Not that it's impossible to do outside, but you just have a higher chance if both parents are there, fueling you, putting into you, pouring into you. I feel like that child would be a
yeah,
little more like sturdy in life. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So.
And that's why I say marriage,
Mm-hmm.
exploration, knowing that this person is it, even though you
Mm-hmm.
can never know 100%, but
Right.
at least being more sure than, we've been kicking it for like 3 years. Let's have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And again, being financially, I feel like there should be no reason why you should knowingly put the weight of your stress onto somebody you're choosing to bring into this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's huge for me. Um, with that being said, how do you feel about the whole pro-choice and pro-life debate? Like, do you believe it's a woman's choice?
Absolutely.
The
My
way you
pussy,
look,
my choice.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the
Because, it's not fair. Like, you're telling me that if, God forbid, I get raped by my uncle or something weird, or any individual, and obviously they're raping me, there's no protection 99% of the time, and I get pregnant, I can't get rid of it. I don't even
yeah,
know you. You know what I mean? I don't know what illnesses you have on your family. Like, and you rape me. I don't even know. What we did was not my choice.
yeah,
Pro-choice, not my choice.
yeah,
So I don't want what might come with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm already traumatized with what happened. Now imagine bringing a child into the world from that. That's really hard. Being forced to have that kid.
yeah.
That's terrible.
I feel like they do a lot of mental gymnastics. In other words, like these people like that are like pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people religiously, which me not being a believer, I feel like that's still mental gymnastics. But um, like they do whatever they have to do in their brain to make
Mm-hmm.
it sound like
It's
you're
okay.
killing a
Mm-hmm.
kid, you're killing a life when you have an
When it's
abortion.
not even a whole baby, yeah, it's probably a sack. But
Exactly. And they and they like these are the same people who tend to be Republican and tend to be like, it's America.
Mm-hmm.
You should live your life. You should be able to do whatever you want, type of thing. Except when it comes to literally having to give up your body for 9 months and then having to raise a child. Like
Yeah.
it's a little crazy. I feel like they do a lot of mental
Okay, so
gymnastics.
when I spit that baby out that I didn't want for whatever reason, but it was unplanned. It's not your. I hate saying I didn't want, but women didn't. Um, they didn't expect that, right?
Hmm.
So that means we should give birth and then drop them off at your religious homes, and you raise that
And
because
they
you
would
think
never
that
do
you
it.
have more say over my body than. Okay, so if
Yeah,
you think that, Miss Religion, Mister Religion, here you go. There's a present.
yeah,
Then it's like, oh no, right? Oh,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
And they
So
would
make it
never,
make sense.
they would never do that. And then on top of that, there's the case of these are the same people that don't want health care, they don't want Medicare, they don't want food stamps. So it's like, again, it's mental gymnastics that just doesn't make sense to me. And then they were smacked in the face when literally it became illegal in one of these states, one of
Mm-hmm.
these red states. And quite literally, like a month later, after it became illegal, there was a 10-year-old girl who got raped and
So
had
she's forced. She should be forced to have a child.
exactly that. So that's why that's where like it was like literally like if there is a God, like it was like God like
Mm-hmm.
using this vessel, unfortunately this
Mm-hmm.
child, like as a smack in the face. Like look at it like it was literally a month after you guys passed this law and she had to go to a different state to get an abortion. It's
That's
stupid.
terrible. See, like me, I won't say I'm religious. I grew up in a Catholic environment, not super practicing because not like we went to church every Sunday, but we did do church once in a while. Then I got a little older and I'm like, oh, I want to be Christian. I read some certain things that I felt like I was pulling more towards. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to really like limit myself.
Hmm.
I believe in good. I believe in evil. I believe in God. I believe in the devil. You know what I mean? And I feel like with every religion I've heard, I can dissect a few things from. So I just say, I'm spiritual. I believe in good and bad, God and devil, and all of that. And I just be like, no matter what though, because every situation is different. Now, if we're young kids and we having sexual intercourse, and I have a baby, and my parents make me have it, whatever. I don't know. I don't have a real big opinion on that. But if I'm getting raped or it's something that I don't want to do, my dad is raping, stepfather raping, like, that's not unwanted. I don't think no God will want you to do that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's terrible. So I'm super pro choice. I'm super like, it's your body, do what you want. You want surgery that makes you feel better, go get it. You want a baby, go have it. Like, but as long as the woman themselves say yes, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's I feel like it's harder for you to argue for it, and you're kind of like
Hmm.
it's mental gymnastics.
Yeah, I like the way you put that, mental gymnastics. That
Yeah,
is totally it.
it's
And I
like
also feel for men. I would say that just to shed light, because it's not only about women. Like there's two sexes on this earth for a reason. I feel like if a dude don't want a kid and they try to prevent as much as possible, something happen, condom breaks, whatever may happen, and y'all both are not financially stable, y'all might both be too young, like there might be certain things involved. I feel like men should have some type of say, not just, oh, you like another girl, I'm gonna keep it because I want to destroy your relationship. Like, when is there evil behind that, you know what I mean? Then I feel like I don't know how they would implement it because it's hard because of pro-choice, right? But I feel like some men unfortunately get forced into something that the girl already knew. She might just try to block it to create some delusion. And then when the reality sits in, it's just like, but you can't say that man didn't tell you though.
yeah,
So now you got to sit with your, you know what I mean?
that's the tough part with it.
It is
Um,
because y'all both, it takes two to tango. But,
yeah, that's the tough part
you
with it
know,
because it's is like I believe if you don't want to have a child with someone, and unfortunately, you get pregnant or she gets pregnant, um, there's a very deep discussion that you have to have.
mm-hmm.
ultimately
It's the woman's
it's the
choice.
woman's choice.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for those that have protective, like they're doing preventative measures, and then for whatever weird reason she comes out pregnant. I feel like a man's thoughts should definitely be a
Yeah,
play in it and
yeah,
really think about it. Because at the end of the day, if a woman's just having a baby for her, she don't care if you leave today. She's not going after you with child support. She's not begging you to take care, spend time. She's doing it literally for herself because maybe that's what she wanted her whole life. Maybe she's at a certain age. She's never been pregnant. Whatever it may be, then just make sure you put an H on your back and you handle it alone. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And if you want to be there, kids are going to grow up and they're going to ask questions one day. And if you're around, you're going to have to face that music one day. And you might not be prepared for the questions that might come. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or your kid might grow up to be something real big in the world and their story's going to come out. And you're not going to look
That's the
like,
sucky part. I
you
mean,
know?
it's sad with kids. It's sad. I personally feel like even if I don't want to have a child, um, if the person wants to have the kid, and I would try to convince like, yo, we're not ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
If the person decides to have the kid, I have to step up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You
No
know,
matter what.
like,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I chose to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's
That's a
complicated.
very that is a very touchy topic.
It's impossible. Like, yo, you can't put restrictions. You can't. Where we mess up is as humans is we want to think that we know the solution to things when I only know my life. I only know what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what you've been through, nor can I tell you how you should. I could advise how you should go
Yes.
through, like how you should handle a certain situation. But those situations are usually very superficial, or it's something that's relatable. Like, let's say a breakup. Everybody's going through a breakup. So I can tell you, like, yo, this is how I handled it. This is what I think. I know you're stronger than this, that, and the third. When you're talking about putting mass restrictions or kind of putting your view on an entire state, let alone an entire country, like you don't know shit. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
shit. So yeah, certain things we're just never gonna have a solution to. That's gonna be that one. I feel like we have a solution to. It's like, yo, if she wants to have an abortion, bro, you
Let her.
have you have you have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice. Going from that, what is have you ever had a scare, and how did you like how did you ever have like a scare where, let's say, maybe you thought this might be it, and how did the person that you were with react, and do you feel like the way that person reacts or reacted, if it did happen to you, that would make you change your mind on if you're gonna keep it or not?
Well, I think yeah, I went through a scare one time. I was old enough, I was over 18, I believe. I thought I had a scare, but it was just for some odd reason my period didn't come for 3 months, so I had to like go to the doctor get this little pill to force it. But while it was going on, you know what I mean, my mom's getting a whole bunch of tests. We were like all excited. You know, us Spanish people, we talk crap or whatever, but they love kids, and it's just like
Yeah.
that's why I feel like a lot of Spanish homes start early
Hmm.
and they accept them for whatever reason. So, the great grandma stuff, you might still know your great grandma if your mom started a little early,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But back to your question, the person I was with for a very, 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 very long time. So it was more of an excitement for us in my, experience. It was more of an excitement. And then when it came out to be no, it's just, whatever happens, just take this, you'll be fine.
Hmm.
I took it. 2 days later it came down. I'm like, oh. Then we
Yeah.
all was kind of bummed out because we was
Yeah.
like anticipating it and his side was excited. Me and him was super excited. Like, all right. I was super scared. Like, I was the one looking like the boy. Like, you sure you want to do this? Like, are we ready?
Yeah.
Like, girl, we've been together a decade. You right. but you sure?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time I thought I was ready. If it would have happened, then I would have just had our child, and we would have been all right. But it's never really came out to be that I'm pregnant. I had to get an abortion or I had a miscarriage. Thankfully I never went through that pain, but I've never really had a scare but that one time.
Yeah.
And it was just a woman flow issue.
What's up with that? Why is it like why how is this such like I thought that the body was the most well organized
Like
thing
it's
in
a
the world.
filter and it just
Why
works.
why is
No.
it that women why is it that women is there a reason why women have such like so many women have irregular um periods and why is this like a thing that
It could be so many things. It could be weight. It could be some type of health issue. It could be hereditary. And a lot of people just have that mystery, and a doctor can't really give you an excuse or an explanation except maybe it's not your time.
yeah
I hate that one because I'm actually an irregular, super irregular person. So she just comes whenever she feel like it.
yeah
And it's annoying.
and
But
that's why I like I've ran into a lot of people. Is it bullshit that like oh I take birth control because it regulates my period
it
or
does,
is it
though. It
it
does
does
because then when you get to a certain color, it drops no matter what. As long as you every day with it, because you have to take it every day. So I think for 20 something days, it's all one color. And then for that 1 week, you'll have a different color. And then once you switch the next packet out, it stops and it just keeps going. It does regulate your menstrual, but it also hurts you. If you want
mm-hmm.
it for too long and then you get off and want a baby, it's some people it happens like that. And then some people they be years because their
Mm.
body still you've been taking it for 7, 8 years, your body now has a new train and it's just like, wait a minute, these tracks are not this is new. Like so you gotta find a new wave. But I've tried taking birth control, but it's not a good thing. I don't really like it. And then it comes with a lot of side effects.
Mm.
Especially the pill. There's
Yeah.
IUDs and stuff that I've never experienced, but that have no hormones, but the pills always have hormones. So you might be extra moody, you could be sensitive. It makes my mechanic system just go out of whack. So I personally don't like to take it. I just however it comes.
Yeah.
But it could be so many different things why you're irregular, like it's a health, weight, lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
If you do taking drugs and stuff like that, like just depends on your lifestyle as well. And then like myself, they can't give me a concrete answer why. It's
Mm-hmm.
just some people also obviously have more eggs on one side of their ovary than the other one, so it's a blockage. So it's very complicated. It's not like a
Yeah.
concrete answer for every woman. No.
Yeah.
So we just gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that there's a lot of women that stay away from it completely because of the hormones and all of that stuff. They have one for men now or something like that. What do you think? You think men should? They have one where like.
Absolutely take it. So you know what? We won't have this discussion. Then you can't say you upset at the girl. If you're using condoms and you on your male birth control and then she comes out pregnant, gotta handle it.
Oh
However
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
gonna
If
handle
you
it.
if you
But at least y'all both were taking preventative measures. You know what I'm saying? So if
yeah.
he's taking it, you taking it, and it just happens, I just feel like it's God's gift. Like it's just for whatever reason it came about, whether you're gonna have it or not. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
think it's awesome, them, because the Nick Cannons that are running around in the world that don't got Nick Cannon money, and you're doing nothing but creating broken homes, which I still think, no matter if you have money or not, you having kids with so many women. I don't care if you're a billionaire. Yeah, you can pay financially, but you're still creating a broken home because they're not seeing you every single day. They gotta share. You know what I mean? Like if one baby mom is bitter, now the children are taken away from their siblings that they're trying to get to know and stuff like that. So it's
So what about in your case? Let's say with your business, you get to the point where you kind of have to hustle around. Like, do you think that that's something that could stop you from deciding to have a kid? Like, if your business is to the point where, like, you don't want to have like the nanny babies, like the babies that are raised by nannies. Like,
yeah, that won't be me.
no.
No, because I was raised with a village. My mom had to be up at 5 in the morning at her job. I had my grandma, I had my auntie. Like there was always a family member around making sure I was good. So it takes a village. It really does. But I just personally won't do nanny, no matter how rich I get. Like, I feel like I will hope to have a partner that totally understands my career and knows, like, hey, there's gonna be times she gotta jump up at 3 in the morning to take a plane because she gotta go take care
Mm-hmm.
of very well known somebody and do their, whether aesthetics or the nail side of the business. Like, I gotta take care of them. They gotta know. They gotta hold it down. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the balance at home. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? That's how I feel. I just personally believe in taking care of my responsibilities, so I don't want to really dump it on someone. Like, even like my mom and stuff, because I had the kid for us. You know what I mean? It's mine, so to speak. I don't mind sharing, but I got to put an H on my back first and handle it. If I can't, then I'll go outside and ask for help or whatever. But I just hope that my partner understands everything. It's just like, this what comes with it. I
Yeah.
feel like I can never be too big too for my kid. My mom didn't do it to me,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not gonna do it to them.
So when you say stuff like having a partner that knows, like, if you have to, if you get to a certain stature where you have to move around and you
Hmm.
have to be up at certain times, and how important is it that your partner, obviously it's important that they understand that, how important is it that your partner kind of has that same type of hustle? Like, if he's working a 9 to 5 and he's making like half the money that you're making, is this something that you feel you would be accepting of, or do you feel like, no, if I'm doing this, like, you should be doing the same, or you should be at the same level at least?
Well, love is not controlling, right? Love is compassion. Love is understanding. Love is compromise. So if I'm telling you what to do, that's a control. I don't want to control a man. It's because then I feel like I'm taking care of a kid. I'm telling you what to do. Like, no, take initiative. Now, if he's a 9 to 5 and I'm worth X amount of dollars, I personally don't know how that will go. I feel like if I'm at a
Would you
certain
have a stay
level,
at home dad?
that would be great. That would be great because then my kid is seeing their parent. You know what I mean? That would be great. And I know there's sometimes a hiccup might come. He might be booked or something, and okay, that's cool. But I need someone like at my level. I like somebody a little higher because it gives me motivation. Like, I'm looking up to you, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you teaching me something. But if somebody's like somewhere around my range, I feel like it's a little better because they just understand certain things that a 9 to 5 can't.
Yeah.
First thing they're gonna say, oh, because you think you got this much money, it becomes like a tiradera. I don't know how to say that in English, but a back and forth type of thing, and I
Yeah.
don't want that. So I would need someone that just is at somewhere around me. You know what I mean? It can't be too low, and I'm not just saying finances. It's more than finances for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the whole understanding. Then if you understand, you act different. So if you
Of
don't
course.
understand, I'm gonna get immaturity, and I don't got time for
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's just all a talk, I believe, all a conversation. But I would know what I'm dealing with to know if, you would fit my lifestyle, like, can
Yeah.
you handle that?
Do
And there's
you?
gonna be times I don't mind to compromise myself. Maybe there's gonna be times I have to sit back and let you do, and I'm like, I can't take that gig. I can't do that because I'm also raising my child. So if it's for the benefit of my kid, then I don't mind taking a step back. Times, not me put myself all the way back and let you do you, and then my dreams just go to shit.
Yeah.
I'm not with that. I don't want none of our dreams to go to shit, but we'll learn to balance. I feel like I'll find a way to make it work.
When did you decide you wanted to start a business?
I always wanted to do one. That's why when I went to college, I did business management in my bachelor's degree. It was super broad. I just knew I wanted to do something. I just never knew what. Like, every time I
Mm.
got a job, I'm like, oh, maybe I get a little more higher education, I'll be here. Like, when I was in the dental office, hey, maybe I should be a dental assistant. Maybe, I mean, a dental hygienist or whatever. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should be a dentist. But it all never came to fruition because it was just like, that wasn't it. Then I feel like in 2018, I created my LLC,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I call it JRS, is Johanna's Royal Services. So at the time, I was just doing aesthetics, which is skin, chemical peels, facials, backs, facials, and stuff like that. Then I'm like, I always wanted to do nails first, but I just can't really remember what happened. I think money wise, the aesthetics was just more available at the time. I said, F it. I'm just going to jump in. There's no right way to start. Just start. Do something. So I went, I got my license, I did what I had to do. And then as time was going on, my money grew. I went into the nails, which was I started my nail journey, like actually going to school in 2020, of course, a pandemic or whatever. And before that, I was already taking YouTube. I was looking at YouTube and certain things like Young Nails, watching them because they'll do lives, and I would just practice. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing. It
Yeah.
looked crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My first couple nails they look atrocious.
Yeah.
But I love the pictures because one day I'm gonna go back when I'm at like a perfectionist level because I'm still
Yeah.
a baby in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I only graduated like a year ago from school or whatever. So when I get to like that flawless, like I'm like my worst critique. So everything to me is like, I could do better. The
Yeah.
client is like, I love it, but I'll find something. And I'm like, So when I get to that flawless finish like application, then I want to like upload and show everybody because this bad. But I
Yeah.
wanted to start somewhere, so I just started practicing myself, watching things, and then when the money got right, I actually went to school, did the license and everything, and ever since then I've been living my dream. Like, there's times that goes up the business and sometimes it's down. Sometimes it's so much that I'm just like, it's 10 o'clock at night, and at night, and I only had a cup of coffee because I'm having clients back to back, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then there's just times that I'm like, what can I do to like do more? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
never okay. Like I'm never content. I want more, more, more.
Yeah.
But I also think because I'm a newbie at it still. 2018 was just the other day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's so much to learn, and my industry is constantly evolving. So it's like you gotta learn a new trend. You gotta learn this. So it keeps me on my toes. I love it, but I've been walking in my truth since 2018.
What's harder, the doing, or the doing the nails, or doing the making the product, or the marketing?
I would say the marketing, because marketing comes with the public. A lot of people want they only want to go to this person because this celebrity says they do the nails with that person. They forget that they all started as a little guy, not knowing what they're doing. They eventually got there because they've been in their field for 10 years, 13, whatever it may be. But, we all start at the bottom, and people tend to like want to wash that away. And it's like, no, because if anything, we're more special because we strive and we really hungry for it. Once you get at a certain levels, a lot of people get laid back. They get lazy with it. Like, oh, I know I can make this much, so I don't really got to put too much effort. But those that are just starting, they hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're probably going to get the best like experience. Might not be the best work at that very moment, but the experience is way better than the actual work sometimes. You know what I mean? So just be patient with us small businesses. We trying our best. But marketing, I say, would be like the hardest. So you got to capture the right picture. You got to capture the right reel. You got to do it. So the marketing, the clientele is probably the hardest. The actually doing it, it's not as hard, I feel.
Yeah. Do you find yourself studying one more than the other? For example, like with this podcast, I studied what mics to get. Then I studied audio. Then I studied camera. I studied a little bit of everything. Um, I feel like I'm doing a lot more studying than I am recording. Um, what part do you feel has been like the hardest to learn, and what do you enjoy more, the building up to the point where you're perfecting it, or just the learning? Like, because there's people that love to learn a whole bunch of shit, and even if they don't apply it, they just like to know the fact
To know
that,
it, right,
you
right.
know, you like the application more? Do you enjoy the learning?
I love studying. I love learning because I feel like that brings strength to whatever craft you're doing. It's going to perfect it. It just takes time. That was my big thing. And I still struggle with it, but I understand it more that you have to go through a process. You have to trust the process because if you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. But you have to be a student first. So I feel like for me, the aesthetics came easier than the nails because the aesthetics is more just repetition and make you feel good. You could tell. Now with the nails side of it, I was never artistic. Like I couldn't even draw stick figures. So getting that part was a very big struggle. Now I'm seeing results and I'm like, okay, I feel better, but I know I could be so much. I'm waiting for that great level. I'm good right now, but I'm striving to be great. So that little process was very, I had my moments that I would cry and I would want to pull my hair out because I'm like, I'm never going to get this. But no matter what my mouth was saying, my brain was like, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm like, I throw fits and everything. Trust me. I'm like, F this shit. I'm throwing everything. I'm like, I'm so mad. But you just have to stay at it. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent because that's the only way you're going to get to the level you want. So the whole art and putting what I see in my head to life on hands was like the hardest thing. And I still struggle, but I'm way more better at it. Now I got the shape and now I got the application right. Now I just got to learn how to draw better. So like, certain little trends, I'll try it. I'm like, ooh, this is terrible. But I know it's going to be just as the picture I'm seeing. I just got to keep applying myself. So the whole art and bringing that to life was like, I feel like the most challenging for me. Yeah, but I feel
Have you
like we
ever
can
had
get
like
there.
a nightmare client?
No, I'll be honest. I've had really good clients. They understand. I never lie. I started this at this time. This is my work. Da, da, da. I'm only gonna get better. And people, when you're honest with the public, they'll sit there and be patient with you. Sometimes they'll come out bomb, but I took 5 hours. So as long as the client knows that, it's like they're already mentally prepared. So they're like, all right, let me get a snack. Let me do this. Because I know I'm going to be there for a little bit. But I know at the end, Johanna's going to do an amazing work. You know what I mean? So I feel like the people that I have, thankfully, they have been patient. You know what I mean? Now, what they say after, I don't know. But
Yeah.
they haven't made me feel terrible. I've had one meltdown in front of somebody, and they handled it very well.
Oh yeah.
At the end, they came out good. But when I had to redo it and redo it like a good 3 times, I was so embarrassed. But it's something that everybody goes through.
Yeah.
I just, unfortunately, which I learned from it, I let my clients see my expression and how I felt inside. Thankfully, it was somebody that I really knew, so they were cool about it. But then they sat there like, okay, thank God you did it with me. But you remember, you had to keep your poker face. You have to do this. So when you're doing it with somebody that don't know you, you'll know how to handle that stress better. But there's been times that, yeah, I wanted to kick the bucket. I
Yeah.
did, but I just knew that I know I'm going to get to a certain level. I know I am. I just got to keep going. I feel it in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah.
So it's going to come. I just got to be patient and keep working on my craft. That's all.
Yeah. Who's easier to deal with, like male clients or female clients, or do you?
Males.
Yeah.
Because, like, males, they just come like, okay. And, mostly unfortunately, which I want to eventually, I want to get to males that do the nails and stuff like that community. But the male clients that I do, they love their beard facials. They see how hydrated it looks. It glistens. They love it. Man, they just come get a manicure. So it's a clear manicure, gel manicure. It's super easy. And men, they usually just like, all right, cool. Girls want to shape. Girls want designs. Girl want that. You know what I mean? And girls usually are more of a critique, like they critique more. So they're like, you gotta do
Yeah.
this thing. Like it could be. So I would say males are just easier because their services, if they're just doing a plain gel, it's just easier. It's 1, 2, 3. You get them in, you get them out. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, and there's no complexity to it.
Exactly. Men are more chill
And we
for the
wouldn't
most
even
part.
know if you messed up, to be honest.
No, yeah, I really wouldn't. And it's clear, right? It's like, what can you really
Yeah.
see?
Girls, on the other hand, they'll be like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
you messed up my powder blue coffin.
I said royal blue. Why is there baby blue? You know what I mean? So, yeah, they could be a little more complex, but thank God I haven't got. I mean, I hope to get a nightmare client. I do, even if it's once, only because it'll teach me out of experience. Because you could tell me a million times how something's gonna go, but until my hands touch it, my brain is on it, my eyes see it, like I'm going through it, then I'm like, oh, so this is how I act. So this is how I gotta act. You know what I mean? So I do want to experience a nightmare client just once at least. You know what I mean? As long as they don't get to a point where it's straight disrespectful. You know what I mean? I'm cool with it because I need constructive criticism. Sometimes I feel like my loyal regular clients, sometimes I just feel like they might add a little sweetness to it, and I'm like, no, give it to me raw. Like, you sure? No, this is great. Okay, so I think I'm doing a great job.
Yeah.
But it's good to have that experience under your belt because if I get to a place, like a status that I want to get, so that I'm taking care of clients with some type of status or whatever, they are not always so nice. You see them in the
Yeah.
camera, they're like, but they're
Yeah,
inside they're
sis.
ugly, or they expect things free because they are X person and they you know what I mean. So I want to do that with the Joe Schmoes, so when I get to those bougie clientele that feel like they just entitled because they are whoever they are, I'll know how to keep a
Hmm,
smiling, be
yeah,
graceful,
yeah,
and kill you with kindness.
yeah. I always get that talk from my boy. He's like, yo, you gotta, you're gonna run into people. You just gotta kill them with kindness. I'm not kind.
It's hard, but you
I'm not
have to.
kind. Yeah,
Because you have to think about the end result. This is just temporarily. You're just gonna be in my presence for 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be, and then you out my door. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But she'll grab that thing like, yo, I really did good. Usually I'm an asshole, but I love the way I handle myself, and it shows growth for you
yeah.
too.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So get you a bad client one day. Get you a bad, host or a bad person in your chair, so you could, it's
Oh no,
practice.
yeah, I've always, I run into people that are like assholes, but I think they quickly figured out that I'll kill them with kindness sometimes, but other times they'll quickly figure out that I don't really give a fuck like about this whole situation, like
Your
this
masculinity just roars after
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly, like this could go south for you real quick, not at work, but in different
Right, right, right.
situations, um for example, the the other day I was shopping for at a liquor store that I've stumbled into a couple of times, and this isn't on the this is on me being the client side, but you can run into monsters in everyday life, right? So I've stepped into this store a couple of times and I've spent a good amount of money there, but for the last few times they just didn't have what I want. The lady is just like, we know you're not gonna buy anything.
Hmm. I love those.
Yo, I just went like, oh, you a monster. Like yo, I went off on her. I won't say exactly what I said, but like some people like yo, some people you just shouldn't have a business if you're gonna be running it like this, right? So it's good to know that you kill people with kindness.
I try to. I try to practice it. I can't say I'm perfect at it.
I would throw myself over like yo, all of this is gonna be on the ground if I'm ever interviewing somebody and it's getting crazy, like like yo, all of this there's gonna be no kindness. This is all
You about
going
to
on.
wear this marble
Yeah,
table,
you're gonna see
okay?
what this small marble table is about for real.
Ain't nothing small about he,
Mm,
okay?
yeah, exactly. Um, so tell me a little bit about things that you do for fun.
For fun, I like watching TV. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Ever since COVID, I've been completely different. I rather do in-house stuff, whether it's going to someone's house, like I was saying earlier, getting together with people, having drinks, whatever, like opposed to being an establishment. I do it because I feel like it's healthy. You need to get out besides four walls, no matter if it's yours or Joe Schmo's. Like you should go out and like mingle with people. I think it's important, but before COVID, I was super outgoing. I wanted to be in everything. Like I was like, yeah, I love this. Like I love me having a little meal with a drink and some good music. You know what I mean? But nowadays for fun, I just like my fun honestly is not just in it because I have the business, but I love just pouring into my business. Whether I'm just sitting there with a practice hand and just trying a new trend or whatever, like me pouring into my business makes me happy.
Yeah,
That's what I do for fun right now. But I do also go out. I have my little dinner, then come home, stuff like that. But I'm pretty really normal right now. I'm hoping to get out of that because I feel like I'm too much of a homebody right now.
yeah.
And I've never been this magnitude of a homebody.
Mhm,
And I feel like I need more of the outside world. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
it also helps me talk to people and bring more business
Yeah,
to
that's
me
true.
as well. So it's a balance. But as of right now, I just be home or with my family, really, or my close friends or our family. You know what I mean? And that's about it. We don't really do much. I don't know if it's because we're getting older and then people have children. Their kids are getting older. They need more
Yeah,
expensive
people are
stuff,
so
you know.
boring having all of these
Yeah,
children.
I'm
What are you
so
having?
boring right now. I
What?
need to spice up my
I
life.
need you to have fun.
Yeah, and I'm single. I should be out there having a good time, right?
You need to be out there having a good time.
And you know, my mom always says the man is not gonna fall from the sky and hit your lap, Joe. Go out
Are
there.
you on
She
any
right.
dating sites?
No.
Applications?
Well, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I did try. I tried one. I'm not gonna say their name, but I did try an outlet, and I just felt like,
Women be killing it on those things though. You probably had a bunch of people trying to like slide into your DMs, right?
listen, that yeah, the little inbox of that media, whatever it is, that outlet. Yeah, I tried it, but I felt like the men there was just like a little strange. I'm not, and then it could be maybe I just been locked up in the house too much. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it wasn't a thing. I stood on it for a couple weeks, maybe like I say about 3 months or less, and it was just like, no, this is not me. I went on one date. I will be honest. I did go on one date, and he lied. So I said, "F this shit," and I deleted that shit from my phone. He lied about his height. He lied about his weight. He lied about what he looked like. The
Wow.
pictures he had was like 15 years younger than what he was. I'm like,
Mm.
when you took this picture, oh, that was recent. So in a matter of 3 weeks, you just look like this? I don't believe it. Weight don't just happen overnight like that. And your height, after a certain age, you don't go smaller. You don't go up. You
Nah,
either height
they
or
do
you
say
go up.
you lose a couple.
I mean, but we wasn't talking about old man. We talking about fairly youngster around my age. In your 30s, you don't shrink. That's
Yeah.
just impossible. What you did,
So you
surgery?
prefer meeting somebody in person?
I do. I like old school ways. Like I want to meet you. I want to see you, stuff like that, not just by a picture or whatever. It's just like then I gotta talk to you a little bit. It's something I gotta get used to. I'm back in the day we had to go somewhere and find someone, you know what I mean? It wasn't really all these outlets that, oh, it's from a picture, let's meet and stuff. And I get creeped out. I watch too much ID. So I don't trust that stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like, you're gonna try to bait me and kill me. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'd rather
It's
stay
always
single.
easier. Like I always find like it's always easier meeting somebody, let's say through acquaintances or through work or something like that. You know, it's always easier, better, and you know what you're getting, sort of. You know, like
Yeah.
if my friend trusts you. Or if I'm running into you at work, or if I'm running into you in this location, like all the time, like at least I'm getting to know a
Something you're
baseline.
familiar with. That was
Yeah.
my old way of doing things. Either I knew of you already, excuse me, or someone I trusted is like, no, I know both of you. I think this would be a good thing. I never really got matched with someone, but that was something I would have been open
You've
with.
never been on a blind date?
No. I mean, I guess you would say blind date, so to speak, from the
No, like
internet
somebody.
that I didn't see or anything like that. No, I've never. I'm too much of a control freak.
I've always wanted to be hooked up on a blind date. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Maybe that will work for me now because what I did wasn't working.
yeah. I mean, guys, you just have to be 6 foot and taller, and like that's the only thing that whoever setting them up.
You
on the
know what?
blind
That
date.
makes me sound shallow.
No, I'm joking.
No, but
you
you're
gotta-
right though, because I do prefer a taller man. I'm 5'5.5" with heels. I'm like 5'8", 5'7", on my good day. So I want somebody about 6 feet, but at least if you got a little bit of height on me. Like I would never. I don't like to say never, but I won't ever date someone that I have to look down at. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that short men are amazing. There's amazing short men, yeah, or shorter men, whatever you want to consider it. But I prefer just on the taller scale. But whatever's meant to be, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really have a type. Those are just character little traits in someone I would prefer. But like deep down inside, like you gotta be like family orientated, you gotta be goal orientated, you gotta be motivated, you gotta have some type of vision. You know what I mean? You gotta be responsible. You gotta have some type of job. I'm sorry, I'm about to be 34. Why are we in our 30s and you have no job
Yeah.
for like the past 5 years? It shows to me, just like giving a quick little judgment, even though I don't like that word, but my first perception of you is like, oh, so you don't have a job, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I'm not dating no black boy. It's just not gonna. I didn't do it when I was young. I'm not gonna do it now that I'm older. You know
You
what I
never
mean?
dated a black boy?
No, not really. I had dated someone that's a little weed back in the day, but it was nothing like heavy drugs that you really got him in the corner. No, I personally never really went through
Yeah.
that. No, but I just want like a well-rounded individual. That has manners, that respects. You know what I mean? And someone that don't play about Joe. You know what I'm saying? I need someone to protect me because
Yes.
I do a very good job on my own. Sometimes I just want to pass the torch. Like, can you take care of us today? Cool. Because I'm off today. You know what I mean? Just someone that protects, that loves, and has a very good family background. Or because some people do come from bad homes and become better men because they don't want to be what they came from. So as long as you like put together, you have a good head on your shoulders, you have some type of employment, and you know what I mean? I prefer you to have your own house, your own crib,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just a little weird. I know some people have their parents because they might be ill or whatever. That is understandable to a degree, but if you're just living in mommy's house because you rent free and she's
Yeah.
still cooking and cleaning for you,
It's a
washing
no
your
go.
your underwears, we have a problem. I'm not dating you.
You date
No.
you date your age group and older or
Yes, I do because my last relationship, he was a little bit younger, just by like about almost 3 years we was apart, and that was probably my first like younger
and
individual.
you notice something like well I believe that you don't really get more mature. Age doesn't really um put a stamp to your maturity. Like I know
Mm-mm.
people
I
that
just
are
feel like it gives you experience because some people go through things and still immature,
yeah
but they can relate to something, they can talk about a topic and be
yeah
like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, so you've been through stuff. So I feel like age just gives you experience,
yeah
but doesn't always give you maturity.
no
No, I would agree with you. But I need a man that's mature, you know?
mature 6 foot and over
Got a job.
and got a job their own
And damn, can
place.
your credit score be good? Like, be fair at least. And people,
If you don't have the Credit Karma app on your phone,
I do,
don't
so
hit me
we
up.
can.
Yeah, don't hit me up.
No, seriously, like it gotta just shows because it shows balance. If it looks like, oh, you was at 500 one time and now you at like 670, and it's like, okay, but it
You're
shows some
building
type of
up.
growth, like
Yeah, you're
because
doing your
I'm
thing.
not gonna lie, when you young, who cares about that shit?
Mhm.
Credit, I worry about that shit when I'm older. But around my age, a little older, I just feel like it shows your responsibility, your sense
Yeah,
of responsibility. So I would like that your credit be okay, but it's not like a hard stamp. It's just like something that always comes to mind. I hope he's just well rounded. That's something that shows responsibility. It shows a track that you're working towards it. So you're like, okay, so you want better. So you're walking that walk. You know what I mean? So just be established. That's all.
yeah. But for right now, Joe loves Joe, and you're doing good.
But Joe got enough love to give, though.
Mm.
Mm.
You're a good woman. We gotta find you
Thank you.
something.
I try. I do have don't get it twisted. I do have my fuck ups, and I,
Yeah,
I did learn from my last relationship as well. And I feel like I'm a lot better mentally, spiritually, overall. But, I'm still a work in progress. I'm only 33. Like, I got still a lot to learn. You know what I mean? So hopefully adding someone into my life will teach me certain things, more patience, more compassionate. Because sometimes when I get in my bag, I'm all about that. And I gotta remember, like, I can't be single minded. I have to be able to multitask and do more. You know what I mean? So, or sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I'm an Aquarius, so sometimes I just want my way. I want it this way because I said so, and this is the way it's gonna work. But it's because I've been alone for a little bit, so I'm just so used to doing my way, and everything that I do works. Like, you know what I mean? I have pretty much of a good character and stuff, so I'm like, no, I just know better, so let's do it like this. But sometimes you gotta let that person lead and just be like, que yo te dije. What I told you. But you know what? This is a lesson learned for the both of us. I learned patience and you learn to listen to me.
there you go.
So yeah, like I gotta learn to kind of like share that torch that, it's my way is not always the right way, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So And so he gotta, you know what? One main thing, he gotta have patience with me because I am a sour patch, and there's just days that I wake up and I'm a lion, a raw. But you know what I'm saying? I still need you to be like, it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? If you try to roll with me, that is like the worst thing to do. So I need a man that can balance.
You
Like,
need
you
a
know
calm
what? She's
dude.
having a day. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like a dude that's pretty calm. Like my opposite, cause I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa."
Hmm.
I need someone that's, but still can be around people and, mingle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little more laid back than me. It usually works better for me.
Yeah.
Too hype people, too active people doesn't always work because you can clash sometimes. So I just need somebody that just be like, Joe is just a special individual sometimes, and we gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
Just be patient, because I try to do my best to be patient too, because it's not every day's about me. There's
Hmm.
gonna be days that you might be going through something, and I need to be able to check myself out, like it's not about you right now, and just lock in the moment, and really give you selfishly advice, or let you just cry on my shoulder, whatever it may be, because it's a partnership. It's not about just one side. So we shall see how that goes.
I got full faith that you're gonna find somebody great.
Oh, thank you. I hope. I've been waiting a couple years.
Yeah.
If you know anybody, call me.
I got you. I'm gonna keep that in mind. So we have a couple of your products here. But before that, before we close this out and we talk about your products,
Yay.
what is the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome since starting your own business?
Making doubters believers.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody doubt it. Not every single one, I'm just generalizing. Most people doubt it. And some people, I feel like they still doubt, but they're starting to see me get posted a little bit more. They're starting to see the growth. They're like, and I got some doubters that now all of a sudden they want to be my client.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the hardest, because you have to prove yourself to
And
make anybody change.
seeing the people that doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Turn around. And I must say that was like the most biggest gratification I got. I'm like, yes, because you one name checked off my list. Because I had a list of that I knew was just like, and I'm like, you're going in my little black book.
Yeah.
And put a date next to it. Like, it took you X amount of time to come, but come to mother. She take care of you, But I would say the clientele, making people believers and actually just finessing the actual artwork. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever my craft is, whether it's the skin or the nail side, I would say was like the hardest. Like actually making the progress and showing results.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that it was a little mixture of all three.
Yeah. And who was, don't necessarily call them out, but was there somebody that surprised you that they were a doubter? Like, like a specific, like, maybe not a specific person, but a specific group of people that like, oh wow, I thought you would be my biggest supporter.
Yeah,
But
I have
you
this
ended
one
up.
person, I won't say their name or their connection to me, but even to today, I've been with my LLC since 2018, and the one person in this whole wide world I really thought was gonna be like my number one supporter, my number one like person that reposted, that is proud to just show, okay, she might not be that good, but and just show my growth. And they've never came to me for a service. They've never came to me for a product. They'll see me and they might say, oh, yeah, I was going to buy. And it was always that keyword was, but it never been happen. You know what I mean? But I thought that they would. I thought they would. And they see it. And it's like, I don't know if it's pride or because I'm a certain title to them. They just feel like whatever it may be. I'm not sure why. I honestly been racking my brain since 2018, like, but why everybody else around you come to me, like, show some type of support, even in everything is not finances. Support can be just verbal support, could be there to just let me scream it out, cry it out, whatever. It could be emotional support, it could be physical support, and then of course it could be financial support, but they don't support in anything. And it's just like it racks my brain, and I'm just like, and I really was actually like a little depressed about it at one point, and it would make me cry every time. Like, but I don't get it. Like, why?
Have you
Like,
ever had a conversation with them, or you kind of just beat around the bush, or do you
um,
just kind of not even bring it up?
we've had like small conversations, but it gets really swept under the rug because I think they don't want to really face that everybody's telling you like, why don't you? This person is this to you. Like, out of everybody, you're supposed to. Like, you're supposed to be the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. Like, we don't really touch it. And then when it's about to get touched, it's like they beat around the bush, and I just be like, I get it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It takes too much energy. So now I'm at the point that I accept it now. So now if they was to come to me and be like, hey, I'm going to look at you crazy, and I'm going to ask you why.
Yeah.
Because it's not like what I offer you don't.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't understand. And some of them are great
I feel
work.
like sometimes you got to kill them with kindness, but sometimes you also got to kill them with success, and
That's exactly because I did the
also,
kindness. So now it's just
yeah,
success.
it's
Like,
success, and also it's like just knowing like, oh, you're that person, like, okay, this is as far as this is gonna go. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Like, I can't carry you to the next step
Right.
because you've shown your colors.
Exactly. Because when I do get to that level, I can't wait to be like, oh, the day they ask me, like I said before, oh, I want an appointment. I'm going to look at you crazy. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is why? Why don't you go to Joe Schmo up the block?
Yeah.
Mind you, they're up the block. I'm not that far. So
Yeah.
it's like, go ahead and go there. But when I get to my certain level, I never want to hear you say, I always knew you would do it, because it's like, if you believed and you knew,
You
you
didn't
would have
help.
came.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to like feel like I'm begging someone to come support me or come
Yeah. I don't.
check out my work, you know?
Yeah. I don't.
So,
I don't do any of that, and I don't. When people, like, let's say if I'm gonna support somebody that I know that has some type of product, I don't ask for discounts. I feel like that's the biggest thing, that the biggest flaw that certain people, that a lot of people have. It's like, oh, now I could ask, I could, no, yo, I'm the homie. Like, no, you should be paying full price
because
for
you are my
everything.
homie, because you
Exactly.
know how hard I'm working. Yes.
Exactly.
Because that's my main question I ask a lot of people, and it's true. When you go to Fenty, or when you go to Gucci, let's go high. When you go to Gucci, Louis, and Fendi and everything, do you go in there and say, hey, I only got $100 for this $300 product. Let me just get it because I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
You never go to any establishment and ask for a discount. Never. You know what it costs. You know what you got to pay. It's never, you go to the desk and you're like, okay, run my credit card. Here's my cash.
Yeah.
Either way. So why would you take that mentality, change it to come over here, someone that you know that's really striving to be something, and want to, and just accept a, like, expect a discount.
That's
Now if the person comes and says, you know what, don't worry about it, I'm gonna give it to you half off. Let me make that choice. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Support all the way, because you do it for, these big
Yeah.
brands. You don't go in there asking for a discount
Yeah.
ever. People don't go to Lamborghini and be like, oh, let me get this for a fraction of the price. No.
Yeah.
And don't even got commercials.
Yeah. I feel like that's a big flaw in the culture.
Yes.
It's because you just think of it like, oh, but they're pocketing that bread. Yeah, but it's not. I'm not pocketing that bread.
No.
Like, let's it's all getting reinvested into the company,
Absolutely.
which is growing, and hopefully one day maybe this shit grows to the point where
I
like
tell you,
I'm
don't you
in,
need that refund? I got you.
or even I'm employing you,
Or
or
I'm
like you're
employing you.
eating off of
Yes.
this. Like, but come on, like that's one huge flaw um that I noticed, that I've always noticed in the culture. And it's fucked up.
It's sad. It really is, and nobody has a clear answer to that. Well, because I know.
Yeah, no,
No.
there is no clear answer, because you can't even say I don't even got it like that if you're going down the block and you got it like that for them.
You paying $300 for them
And
Jordans,
it's
right?
because you don't know them on our level. It's because I'm family to you, so you feel like, since that's family to me, like almost like they owe me something. Like, nah, I'm family to you, so you should be looking out.
And we never
And
pocket the money, like you say. We put it in, get better products. We upgrade where there is a better sound system for the podcast or it's a better camera. Like I'm not taking it and going clubbing with it.
yeah,
How about if I'm living off of that to pay my rent
yeah.
to make this keep going? You know what I mean? Like
Like, bro, I got a 9 to 5.
right.
Your money is not your money. I'm no. If I do go clubbing, if tomorrow is my birthday and I spend $2,000, and last week I did your nails for 100. Well, guess what? That's from my 9 to 5. It's not from
Thank you.
this.
There's a
Like,
personal account, then there's a business
yes,
account.
exactly.
That's one thing. Nothing in my business account I touch for pleasure or luxury or anything.
Yeah,
Literally, there's been times my products I don't have no more. I go into my little thing, I take it and I pay myself.
yeah,
Because just like I will go to CVS and buy a shaving cream or whatever it may be, I gotta pay it, right? No, I take it from my personal and I put it in my. And people be like, "You crazy?" But you make it, yeah. But it's packaged up there. That's a sale. So if I'm taking it off my little bookshelf, I'm putting that money in there.
yeah,
Best believe it. And that is my company. But how am I supposed to get ahead or keep getting better products or restock if I'm spending all the money?
yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense. No.
Support small
Hey.
businesses.
Yes.
And don't ask your friends for discounts. You
No.
bum bastard.
Just show up and show support literally. Like it's 25, here you go. Here's 30. How about
Here's
that one?
30. There you go. We're going to talk about the products.
All right, so the first one is Velvety Bear for anywhere there's hair. That is an all natural shaving cream. It's packed with many vitamins and healing properties. So that's that. Barbie Away is an aftershave serum. It's good for all ages, men and women. We have a body polish scrub, and that is called Match Tone. It's infused with like coffee, turmeric, and a bunch of healing properties as well. And the follow-up will be Match Tone Glow, and that's just a lightening serum. So anywhere there's dark spots, you can go ahead and apply it. Not only does it moisturize, but it also clears up whether it's your elbows, your inner thighs, anywhere you might have a little discoloration and you want to like lighten it up. Match Tone Glow would be your best friend.
And we have nails as well.
Can y'all see that? Yeah, your girl do it.
We have nails done by Johanna.
Yes.
Men, you could get pedicures, facials,
Yes,
women,
yes.
facials, everything. It's important to support small businesses,
Thank you.
especially one that uses very good materials and
Yes, quality.
and you're pouring everything into your products.
And I make everything all natural. I make it by hand. I feel like all natural is like in the new wave. So, you buy a product and you read these things, you don't know what it is. So you don't know what you're putting on your body. So my products is basically made to heal, protect, and cater to our skin.
Yes.
For sure. So
We're gonna have all the links down below. This was great. This is our third time chopping it
yes,
up.
thank you for having me. I love it.
But I really wanted everybody to get to know you.
Thank you.
Anyways, this is my small marble table. This is the Small Marble Podcast. This is Johanna. And what's the
Yes.
Instagram?
Johanna's Royal Services. You can find me on IG and Facebook.
And I don't want you to take yourself too serious, but take yourself serious, motherfucker. But not too
Peace.
serious. Peace.